Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to my video. So listen, I've decided to just jump on here and show you how I would write a sales emails. I've been copywriting for like a million years and I'd written like a million emails. And I just figured that as a new copywriter, especially when I was starting, I just didn't know what the hell to do. So it would have been nice to have someone like me just jump on and kind of show you the process. So I'm going to do that today. Yeah, let's just do it for fun. Why not? Um, let's think about it this way, okay? You will have a bunch of different emails when you're writing for different brands, obviously, and the sales emails, not all sales emails are made equal. Some will be super short, some need more, some are e-commerce, some are for a personal brand. So you basically have to use your judgment to understand like how to kind of format the email and how to write it and how to deliver it to the audience. Now, obviously, there are 1,000 different formulas on the internet that kind of give you an idea on how to write sales emails. I'll try to tell you how to write them. Now, I say use templates, use them sparingly though, or use them with a pinch of salt. They're meant to inspire you. You're not meant to follow them like word for word. So let me show you two types of, or like three types of emails that you could write and that I can like recall from my memory that was successful in the campaigns that I had written for. So the first one is an email from an author that is what's it called, independently publishing books, and he has an email list of people that read his books, and whenever he releases a new book he writes to them asking them to buy it, basically, right? So the way I had written this email is, obviously I was thinking, okay, this guy is a writer and the people read his books, and books are such a personal thing, and even though his books are about like self-development, a lot of what he talks about is very personal in there, like personal examples and things that he overcame in his life. So I understood that the connection he has with the audience is actually quite personal in a way, and his audience cares about him as much as they care about the wisdom that he delivers. And we all know this, like if we read a good book by an author, we're very likely to go and look for other books from that same person because we like them or we want to know who they are, what they do, and all that good stuff. So the way I was writing that email, and whenever you sit down to write an email, there are three parts that go into it. You have the introduction, the body, the body, and usually this is the ending and the CTA. Okay, so this is like a very general structure, but you always kind of have to adhere to that, and you learn this at school. When you write essays, you have the introduction, the body, and the ending, and it all has to just tie in together beautifully. So when I was writing this email, like the introduction is basically the part of the email where we're trying to connect with the reader. We're trying to engage them in what we're in the email. So because I had this idea to just kind of do it in a very like storytelling way, because obviously people that are reading books, they like stories. We all like stories. So I was like, why not? So um that email, so I am recalling this email from memory, but I'm explaining my process as I go through it so that you can kind of understand why I did what I did. And obviously this is going to be the raw version of it without editing. I don't remember that email word for word, but it's just to kind of give you an idea. And obviously this would have to go through a lot of editing afterwards, and everything that we do goes through editing. So I just spat. I'm sorry if you saw that. That was nasty. So yeah, I started off with something like, hey name, here usually you would start with the name, or you can, if it's like a formal thing, you could say good afternoon or dear, whatever. Yeah, actually I think that in this setting, I actually used like dear, and then, oh wait, this isn't it. This isn't it. This is not it. This is it. Dear name, right? And then I wanted to set the vibe to the email, so I said something like, New York is turning all shades of orange with the upcoming autumn, right? So I think I don't remember what inspired me to write this particular thing, but I wanted to just set the scenery a little bit and just kind of make it a little bit poetic. So New York is turning all shades of orange with the upcoming autumn. It's my favorite weather to sit in a cafe sip a cappuccino, let's say, cappuccino, and read an interesting book. So listen, like I'm just writing this out quickly to get the idea. So later on when I'm editing, I would come back to this and say, okay, how can I make this more vibrant? When I said it's turning all shades of orange, when I'm editing, I might change the word orange for urban, right? It just changed the tone. Like, oh, it went from being a simple orange to being like something a little bit more fancy with the upcoming autumn. It's my favorite weather to sit in a cafe, sip a cappuccino, and read an interesting book. So later I could change because an interesting book is just an idea that I want in the text, and later I would come back and say, what are different ways to say interesting book? We could talk about how the book just draws you in or comes alive as you're sipping your cappuccino, but that comes in the editing. In this stage, you're just getting the ideas out. Sorry, microphone. Right, so New York is turning all shades of autumn with all shades of auburn with the upcoming autumn. Okay, that's kind of fun, like fun play on words, but we could change that, like with the upcoming season. It's my favorite weather to sit in a cafe, sip a cappuccino, and read an interesting book. As I'm watching people walk by their scarves flying, I don't know, their scarves floating in the air and their faces blushing from the cold wind. Oops. I'm wondering, what's it like where you are? Right? So now I'm engaging the reader. Like, so I started with the storytelling. I'm really bringing this person with their imagination into New York, right? Into autumn in New York, when the leaves are falling, people's faces are blushing from the cold wind, and you can see it in your imagination. You can picture it, right? And I'm asking them a question. What's it like where you are? Why not? I'd love to hear from you. Right, so it feels very personal. It almost feels like the writer really knows who the hell they're talking to, even though they don't. It's just a mass email being sent out. But he does like people responding to him, and he responds back to his fans. So I mean, why not, right? Why not open a conversation? So this is the introduction, right? We've drawn them in, and they feel very personal. Their imagination is going. They're in the scenery. So now we're going into the body. Right, so in the body is where we're going to basically introduce some value to them, or introduce the product, or introduce the pain, whatever. So now we really need to, because we're going towards the CTA, which is going to ask them to buy the book. So the body is where we kind of bring that in, where this starts and it finishes in the CTA, right? So the book, let's say that this person has a segment, right? Because well-managed email lists have a segment, have segmentations, right? So you will have, for example, the people that bought the book about meditation, they will be tagged, like they bought the book about meditation, or if they bought the book about communication in relationships, they're tagged like that. So let's imagine that this segment that we're writing to, they had bought a book about fixing a relationship, right? Fixing communication in a relationship. And the new book is about, let's say, something related to relationships also. Let's say it's about, my mind just went blank. I love when that happens. So the one was about fixing communication and relationships. So this one could be about building a vision within your relationship. So like setting goals together and working towards a common goal. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So what's it like where you are? I'd love to hear from you. I'm also wondering how is your love life going? Very forward. I know. Very forward, I know. But this is the season that I want to say something like this is this season where this is the most romantic oh yeah, let's say that. But very forward, I know. It's just that autumn is the most romantic season of the year, and with very forward, I know. It's just that autumn is the most romantic season of the year, personally. So how could we do this? Well, I'd love to hear from you. I'm also wondering, how is your love life going? Very forward, I know. It's just that autumn is the most romantic season of the year, the perfect time to cuddle up and start planning for the future with your second half. Like I said, this needs editing, so I would go back over and I would go back and go over this sentence and think of 10 different ways to say the same thing, and then I would look for the one that's the most powerful, that's the most beautiful, that's the most that fits the most in this particular scenario. But now I'm just trying to quickly get the ideas so this video doesn't last a million years. So the perfect time to cuddle up and start planning for the future with your second half. Sorry, I don't know why I did that face. I'm silly. But it's not easy to, or now I want to like transition to the product, so I have to kind of, here I'm thinking about what problem does the book solve. So we talked about how this book is helping people set a vision together, so it's for people that maybe never even thought of doing that together, or how to bring up these conversations, or especially if you're like just dating, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna plan my future, like this is weird, the person's gonna think I'm weird. But it's actually, he's gonna this solves this issue because it talks about how having a common goal, even if you're just new in a relationship, it's going to help keep you together. And I totally just made this up. Maybe I should write this book, I don't know. The perfect time to cuddle up and start planning for the future with your second half. And don't get me, and no, it doesn't have to be a plan for the next 10 years. Sometimes it's more appropriate to plan the summer, or how we'll spend Christmas together. Because look, you might not know this, but most relationships fall apart because there is no common vision, no common goal. Having a vision of having a shared vision helps you see. You're just watching me, right? That's so funny. So what I'm doing here is now, okay, so I'd written I'm trying to basically set up the problem, right? So this is the problem solution setup. So we're saying, and no, it doesn't have to be, so this is the objection if someone goes, oh, I'm not gonna plan my future with this person, I just met them. I'm saying, no, it doesn't have to be a plan for the next 10 years. Sometimes it's more appropriate to plan the summer, or how we'll spend Christmas together. Because look, you might not know this, but most relationships fall apart because there's no common vision, no common goal. So now I'm setting up the problem. Listen, if you don't have a shared vision with this person, you're very likely to break up. Sorry to break it to you. Having a shared vision helps you see through the tough times and keeps you excited to be together, or something like that, right? We could also go into more detail, if we know this email is going out to women, you could if the segment was just women, we could target this part and be like, well, if your boyfriend like knows that you have a future plan together, like he can be less likely to cheat on you or make like haphazard decisions. And you know, if you're targeting this to a guy, you could say like if a woman sees that you have plans with her, she feels safe and secure, she's less likely to leave or whatever, like she just feels safer and happy wife, happy life, you know, that stuff, right? So this is like we've set up the problem. And we're saying, now we're gonna say, having a vision, and this should really be taught in schools. So many people lose relationships that had great potential, but just like vision. This is relatable. I mean, we've all been in a relationship that kind of ended, and then we reflect back on it like years later or months later, and we're like, why did we break up? Like everything, but sometimes it is literally that. Like, I'm not just, this email has a lot of truth in it. It's just that you just didn't have a vision together. You didn't feel like particularly bound to one another. So the smallest bump in the road, and you're like, I'll find somebody else. But then you look back at it, and you could have had a beautiful life and 10 kids, but hey, life moves on. So this should really be taught in schools. So many people lose relationships that had potential but just lacked vision. And then we'll just say that's why I was inspired to write my new book, which introduces the vision planning system for couples. So I'm saying the vision, I'm not saying the title of the book, I'm introducing like a system, right? I'm naming the method, because this creates like intrigue, and it makes it look like something novel, something secure, something, you know, something jazzy. If you just said, this is why I wrote my book, The Vision for Relationships, then you're just giving the title of the book. But it's nice to actually say that there is a system inside the book, and the system has a name, and it's like a whole thing, you know? That's why I was inspired to write my new book, which introduces the vision planning system for couples. And here we could just say, inside you'll learn, right? And I'm just writing a couple bullet points, like let's say how to have the conversation about planning the future with your love, with your lover, no matter how early or late, how early on or how long you've been together. So this is tackling the objection or letting them know that it's for them, whether they just met this person, whether they've been together for 20 years. How to set goals that keep you together through thick and thin, yeah? And then something else. I'm just going to leave that. So these are the features and benefits, essentially. So you could go into more details, like about how this is going to specifically benefit the person. And then we're going to set out the offer. So we're going to say something like, hey, because you're my long-term and because you're my long-term reader, I'm offering you a special discount. I'm typing without looking because I'm trying to entertain you, so you don't leave my video. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this and you're finding this useful, make sure you like this video because it helps me out. So I'm helping you out, you're helping me out. And you can subscribe to my channel also, and you can comment below if you want. No pressure. Although I do really appreciate it because it does help out my channel. I mean, yeah. And because you're my long-term reader, I'm offering you a special discount for the next 3 days. You can get this book, or you can get this book at 50% off. Click here to get it now. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and we can just end it here. Yours truly, Mark Zuckerberg. I'm joking. And that's it, right? And then you could do like a little PS and say, the discount will expire in 3 days, so don't miss out. Get it now. Whatever, you know, like that's it. This is the email. So listen, as you can, and then like I said, when you're editing, you really want to go over every sentence and think about the different ways you can say. Can I say it in a more poetic way? Can I add some statistics in here? Can I add some numbers in here? Can I add something funny? Like you just want to, but the first stage of writing the email is just getting the ideas out. And this email, like if I just correct the grammatic mistakes and, you know, like all that stuff, if I just run Grammarly on it, we could technically send it out, right? And then if I had different segments, so like I said, you could change if you know that someone bought a book about relationships. If someone bought a book about meditation before, then you would think about how you can relate meditation to this, you know, like, you know, the person's interested in meditation, so maybe they want to meditate on their future goals in their relationship or whatever. So basically, this is how you write an email. It's not hard. Don't overthink it. A lot of people like get into this bit and they just, oh my God, how do I do it? I've never done it. No, you don't need to overthink it. Just do it, man. You can do it. And then, yeah, just think about it this way. Okay, how do I tie into the context of where this reader came from or where this person came from? Now, you could do a follow-up email with this just to say like, hey, by the way, your discount is expiring in 24 hours and the book is going to go up to, so now it's $8, it's going to go up to 16. So if you want to grab it at a discount, get it now. You have my guarantee. If you don't like it, you can get a full refund. No worries. And you can get, you know, just kind of like the closer you, the more like you get to the discount ending, the more you want to push the reader to buy and give them more reasons to buy. So that's everything. Like I said, let me just move myself or not. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like I said, like it and let me know in the comments below how you found it and if you spotted any ridiculous errors or if you think it was just crap. You can let me know. And then also, if you want to check out my copywriting challenge, it's linked in the description. If you want to check out my copywriting course where I teach like this, where I just come on and I explain everything and I show you how I do it, it's also linked in the description below. Yeah, happy days. Enjoy writing your emails.